imagine being fired at your workplace and then they actually gave you the name of your company right there in the letter. And then you decided on the 1st of January, you're going to go to a new place, a new destination that you've never been before to set up a business. Well, Anthony Pyle, OBE, decided to move to Ghana and set up Blue Skies. And I want to find out, as 50 years old, he decided to set up a business in Ghana, new territory, why he did it. Why did he choose Ghana? Anthony, welcome to the Dinter Show.
Thank you very much indeed. No, you've got a remarkable memory. It's funny how sort of little incidents like that stick in your mind.
Yeah.
But it is perfectly true that I was fired back in 1996, towards the end. It was on the 6th of December 1996. And in the process of doing so, they said, you guys, you know, you all burst into tears when you're fired, but what you need is some blue sky thinking. So I thought that's a very good name for a company. And yes, here we are, some 21 years later, 22 years later nearly. And we are, I think, managing to produce something which nobody else in the world has done. And why Ghana? Well, Ghana has got it all. And it is worth remembering that this is where the fresh cut world started, right here in Ghana. And I sometimes wonder why we don't make a little bit more of it. But it is simply that we've been trying to keep up with the rate at which this business has grown. In the early days, it's 20 to 25% a year. And more latterly 10% as we get a little bit. We're now up to just over 110 million pound turnover company. So it is very, very definitely something that's galloped.
Definitely.
And you wonder why we actually came here. Well, Ghana hadn't been visited by me or anybody else connected with me at all. So I was fired on the 6th of December. On the 1st of January, a few weeks later, I was stepping off into an unbelievably hot, humid oven as I stepped down the steps of that aircraft. And I couldn't believe it. Those wonderful days, you know, when in-flight entertainment was pulling down a screen in the middle of the middle of the aisle, a projector at the back of the aircraft. But no, it was simply because English is spoken here. Also, all the institutions were very, very familiar to an Englishman. Even O-levels, which I sat, and things of that sort. And of course the financial system, all very, very similar. And of course there was a huge pleasant surprise of being met by row after row of pearly teeth of the Ghanaian smile, welcoming you and encouraging you to get cracking. So from that point of view it was great. There were all sorts of hurdles, but you know, an entrepreneur's job is actually not to start something off, but to keep it going. And that was really where the fun started.
Yeah, but Anthony, you were a soldier. You were in the army.
Yes.
And so, was entrepreneur thinking in your mind, or was it just stuff that you stumbled on?
Well, by the way, you very kindly referred to me as having an OBE. I'm hoping for an OBE next time. Yes, MB is very nice. You go along, and it was Prince Charles who handed it over to me, and he said, well done, you got noticed, he said. But I'm hoping to get noticed again. The whole business, really, of the military experience, I think, did play a part. But, you know, this is about getting entrepreneurs going and what have you. You don't have to have had a military background in order to kickstart a business. Where I think it helped me, it was to step out into Ghana, you know, in a fearless way.
Yes.
I might have gone, you know, to one of the other countries where there's a civil war or something going on. Actually, you know, it was a good dollop of luck that I ended up in Ghana. But the military did do something for you. You know, when I left school, they really gave up. I went along to see the career schoolmaster, and they said, "You haven't got a hope," you know. And so I left school very early at 16.
Oh wow!
And I had my father did something which I was really grateful for. He said, "Pack your bag, pack a rucksack, and go off around Europe and Africa." And I did. I didn't go to Ghana, but I did set off for a year and came back later, really grown up. All sorts of things, you know, you learn about everything in life, including the birds and the bees. But, you know, you come back a new person, and you go along, and suddenly, yes, you are fit to join the army. And the army itself, of course, provides you with, I think, a big lesson in life, which is to the capability of interacting with people of all backgrounds, all ages, all colours, all religions, all this, that and the other, without feeling, you know, sort of, oh, he's a bit above me, or I'm a bit below. So you just get on with it. And I think that played a huge part. And the culture that we have here in Blue Skies is very much linked to that same approach, the one which enables you to talk to anybody. So we have a very strict arrangement here of, you know, no interference with the individual. We talk about a seamless society. Blue Skies doesn't have workers in it. I'm sure I told you that before. We just have people. And I think all that sort of came a little bit from the army. When I got, I actually sort of had to leave the army under a bit of a cloud as well. I think I spent my life leaving things under a cloud. But I left because I was doing a special job in Northern Ireland where there was a conflict at the time, and I spent rather too long lying in difficult places, and I ended up with quite a severe degree of arthritis in my legs, and I wasn't able to walk. So, you know, I wasn't any use to the army anymore. So I went off to business school, and they then gave me the other bit, which is a little bit of an understanding about business, and away I went. But you know, a thing is, I really would like to make clear on this wonderful show of yours that entrepreneurs, you know, you don't have a particular recipe which you should follow, and there isn't a protocol. There's no particular following of role models or anything of that sort. Actually, what you need is self-confidence, awful lot of self-confidence, and a belief in what you're doing. Absolutely belief in what you're doing, and that is understanding the market, understanding the challenges, but understanding your product and why it is better. You've got to be proud of whatever you're doing. It might be, you know, you're going to start a university, or you're going to launch a product which will clean shoes without touching them. Also, I mean, whatever it is, you've absolutely got to believe in that product. Now, there's no point having artificial belief in it. It's got to be one that you feel right the way through you.
And
I guess that's
not to stop you, and that's what you did. So you were in this company, is it Orchard House?
Yes.
So you were in the company, it was turning over 2 to 3 million per year. You turned it around to 25.
Correct.
And you were telling them, actually, we're making juices. Why don't we go to where they are actually made? And they did not listen to you.
No.
But you, because you really believed in what you were doing and what you believed would be successful, you went at it. You didn't give up. At that time, you could have been still in the UK, probably got another job somewhere, but you believed in your dream and you kept going. Yeah,
it's very, very good of you to so accurately remember exactly what happened. And it really is, I think, important to recognize that Ghana is actually at the head of all this. It was the start of it all, and you need the right sort of environment in which to make it happen. We had, back in those days that you've just referred to, you know, we had some really, really interesting ideas about moving something forward that had never been done before, because fruit salads, you know, were in a can. They had all that sort of sloppy juice going around them. And there was really no possibility of ever calling it fresh. So why not do the fresh stuff? And it was just such an obvious thing. And when you've got that exciting feeling and you really believe it, then that's it. But I would, again, going back to the sort of the list of things that perhaps an entrepreneur wants to think about, I would not advocate for a moment that you should force the concept onto yourself. Nobody should become an entrepreneur. I'm a reluctant entrepreneur. I'm not. I was fired, you know, as you quite rightly said at the beginning of this. And you were 50 at the time. I was 50 at the time. You didn't have to, to do anything. Well, I did actually. You should have spoken to my wife about it. She had her hands on her hips saying, well, now what are you going to do? So there was absolutely no way I could have escaped the responsibility that I was being reminded of. But it was high risk. I mean, she was talking about, well, why don't you go and deliver letters or be a postman? But I was quite keen to follow through the thing that I've been trying to sell to these guys who were, you know, used to bringing fruit into Britain and doing things with it. And the idea of actually taking the factory to source was anathema. So it wasn't surprising really, but oh gosh, and you know, I look back.
But Anthony, what makes your story even more inspiring is the fact that actually the company that fired you have now bought the company.
Well, we haven't actually, no. And I wouldn't want to, I mean, I always sort of carefully avoid it in case they're going to take me to court. So. but it is true, they did fire me.
Yeah.
And it is true that, I was the MD there, the boss there, for 7 years, and moved it from A to B, and also moved it into this new fresh cut area. Where perhaps the achievement has been is that they've been bought several times. They are, I think they're now in American hands actually.
Okay.
And they're just now really like all the other Me Too's that are dotted around the world. They're importing fruit and processing it within, to be fair, perfectly acceptable, respectable, high class operating environments. But what we're doing is really rather special. We have a network of factories, Blue Skies, and we're having the dual purpose of not just having the fruit right on our doorstep, cutting it up and getting it to market faster than you could say, where is it going? But also of feeding something into a world where actually support is desperately needed. You don't have to actually be an avid reader of the newspapers or listener to the radio to know about the tragedies of West Africans and East Africans and others trudging over the sands of the Sahara to get up to Libya and other places like that, getting into very, very dodgy situations with very dodgy people, put onto dodgy boats, which may sink in the Mediterranean before they get, just actually to have economic advancement. And that's all it is. They're not running away from a war or anything like that. They're just actually trying to do something in life which well, what better thing to do than actually to say, okay, guys, we're now the largest employer in the private sector in Ghana.
3,500
3,500 people here
that you've employed.
Yes, and plus then, of course, on top of that, you've got all the farms. I think something like 60 farms. 60 farms. That supply us. We don't own them. We own a few, but not the not the whole 60. But you think of all those people that are actually committed and dedicated to making the superb fruit products that go to Europe, courtesy of this organisation. It is very
we say
rewarding.
3,500, but it's actually just 3,500 in Ghana. We've got South Africa, Senegal, Ivory Coast,
and Egypt. You mentioned
UK,
South
obviously.
Africa and UK.
6.
Yeah, actually, it's 5 major sites. Ivory Coast and Senegal are 2 packhouse operations, but the UK, Egypt, South Africa, Ghana and Brazil are the main sort of factory operations. And lots of different cultures. I mean, it makes it such an exciting company to be a part of. I've forgotten how many nationalities we've got, but I think it's 27, 28 different. I mean, everybody, Chinese, Americans, Australians, everybody in the business. It's very, very exciting business and such fun, really. I think that's the point I'd like to get across. What is the objective that an entrepreneur? Everybody thinks that an entrepreneur wants to make lots of money, and they do. Don't misunderstand that. Of course they do. They want actually to get to my great old age, and think, well, actually, if I start dribbling or get Alzheimer's or something like that, it'll be okay because I'll have enough money to look after it without being a burden on the family. But that's all you need. That's all you need, actually. Do you really need 20, 30, 40 million dollars or something like that? People think they do because it's a status thing. I get my status from sitting or watching the young boys and girls leaving this site in their designer clothes, sometimes looking, I have to say, very enticing, but there we are, and with their iPhones, the latest, iPhone or whatever, and taking no notice of you. Out they go, they're chatting eagerly and happily to each other. They go back. The women have an opportunity to basically decide on the mate in life for life. They're not in some subordinate position where they feel that. And the young men have some hope. We have some terrible record now in Northern Europe of young people committing suicide because of the sort of terrible rat race that goes on around us all the time. and particularly men apparently. But I think here what you're doing is creating a little institution which it can be packaged up and recognized as being something that is good for a country which is trying to advance its economy, trying to get to some status which will enable its constituents, the people which live within that country, to feel there's a purpose, to feel actually you can do very well here. You can send your children to university, you can enjoy some wonderful sports, you can basically live a very interesting life, which we're all entitled to.
Definitely. I mean, we're sitting here at Blue Skies on a 23-acre land, and it feels like a community. There's a clinic here. If somebody gets sick, they get free healthcare right here at Blue Skies. There's a canteen where everybody, the staff, the management, they all sit together, eat together. So it's like a family. It almost feels as if you're not working. It almost feels like you're just one family that everybody's doing whatever they should be doing. And I think that you've created something that needs to be replicated across the world. But we're going to find out more about the process, how he keeps it even so fresh to get to the UK and Europe and elsewhere. We'll be right back after the commercial break. Guba Card welcomes you to the land of gold, Ghana. The Guba Card is a unique loyalty card which gives you the opportunity to enjoy discounts of up to 40% on goods and services. You enjoy discounts of the best of hotels, amazing restaurants, beauty lounges, spas, health centers, fashion houses and shopping centers in Ghana. The Guba Card can also be used as a prepaid Visa card with Access Bank, our partners, offering you conveniences on all payment platforms. Applications is safe, secure and valuable. Call us or WhatsApp us on 0245 156 705. Visit www.gubadiaspora.com. Guba Card, the best discount card in Ghana.
Imperial Homes Ghana and Great Britain has carved a niche for itself within the real estate industry as the premier provider of luxury homes in Ghana and England, with a mission to provide safe, good value, modern housing and personalized estate management services to its clients and customers. All our homes meet the Lifetime Home Standard, as well as the highest standards of engineering excellence, safety, environmental sustainability, and cost efficiency. Imperial Homes, a signature of luxury.
With over 1.2 billion people, Africa is a large continent with a rapid economic growth, full of investments and business opportunities. It hosts numerous opportunities for entrepreneurs, businesses, and individuals. As Africa marches towards a better economic future, how do you become part of it? Who can you safely speak to? Where do you start? Think no further. Ordana connects. We have identified the challenges people face in getting the right people and discovering the right opportunities in Africa. Ordana Connects will be the platform where people and businesses seeking opportunities in Africa meet and connect like never before. Ordana Connect. Join our waitlist for early access this summer at www.ordanaconnect.com. Welcome back from that short commercial break. But before I talk about the process with Anthony, I actually want to go back to what I was saying about being a community here. I didn't mention to you guys that he has a library here. There's 2 sports recreation centres here. There's a vegetable farm that you've built for the workers here. So basically all the food that they have here is free. Everybody gets food free here. And it's all done to just give it that good environment for them to be able to work and produce well, right?
Absolutely. I mean, the important thing is in life, is living. And living means staying healthy. And it's what you put into yourself, and of course how you exercise yourself, that matters. So we do an awful lot of exercise, We have some winning teams in Ghana. I think we're number 2 in the sports club, and we're number 2 in the football.
Wow.
You know, outside the professionals. I'm not for a minute suggesting we could take on a professional footballer in Ghana, but it's really wonderful. I think we produced 2 for Italian teams recently, professional teams, for footballers. So we have a very nice football pitch. We also have a multi-purpose one. And as you kindly mentioned, you know, that we've got the farm which supports the canteen.
Yeah.
And we actually operate a 45%, 55% arrangement there. We pay 55, the staff pay 45.
Excellent.
Because that way they buy into the interest of it. And we get, you know, lots of recommendations and calls for improvements of this and that and the other. But the lovely thing, especially in Ghana, you know, is we've got the fufu and the banku and all these things which are very starch based. And you can put on an inch or 2 if you're not too careful about it. So we try to mix it with vegetables and offer people, you know, maybe they're interested, and it's very popular.
Excellent, excellent. But I mean, we spoke about the journey, but what has been some of the major challenges that you've had to face as an entrepreneur? What would you say were the 2 main things that happened in your entrepreneurial journey that has challenged you?
You've slightly caught me on the hop because I haven't actually, you know, been off all these years. I have never been asked for the 2 main things. But I think one of them has to be persuading all your colleagues that you're doing the right thing. And that persuasion often fails. And when it fails, you then have to have the courage, the commitment, and importantly, the belief and your judgment that allows you to go through. I often think that when somebody says no, you can't do it, there's probably a way of doing it. And if it's something, it happens to be in the way of where you're going, then you've got to do it. So I think that's probably one of the things, persuading those around you, whilst also creating a team, bringing the leader, generating a consensus on ideas and bits and pieces, but people have always got their own agendas. People have always got a prejudice or 2, and it's harmonising, you know, the beliefs that everybody has to be one, which will never ever satisfy every box ticked with every individual, and then you have to have the courage to push it through. So I think that's the first thing. The second one, I guess, is more probably to do with the personal side. You know, there's always going to be a sacrifice. I'm married to a wonderful woman who is actually in the business, and everybody tells me, oh no, well, you know, it'll never work. There are 5 of us in the family, and 4 of us are physically working now in the business. So no, that's rubbish. It's another thing you can challenge and what have you. But it does mean, particularly in my life, that I'm often in an aeroplane seat. I've just come back from Brazil 2 days ago. A day ago I was talking to the Minister for Trade for Africa, came here and wanted to spend an hour with us. You know, you're only one body, and maybe it's one of the advantages of being an old man, actually, that perhaps that old body isn't quite so interesting to your wife as it might have been, you know, 20 or 30 years ago. But the fact is, it is a very important sacrifice, because, you know, people often say, particularly to men, and we believe we've got a huge number of women here, and I think we've got three more general managers in Blue Skies who are female than men, and it's a really important point to make that there is no intention to try and get the gender balance right, but it is right. It's right, because actually outside in the world out there, you know, in 10 people, 5 are male and 5 are female. So it's not too surprising that we actually end up with a 50-50 arrangement, both at board, executive and staff level. But the point I'm really just trying to make is that it is sometimes misunderstood by men just how difficult childbirth is, for example. But I often think that some women would find it remarkably similar to starting a business for a man. This is my baby, you know, and you would never allow it to die. But the problem with never allowing it to die is that the woman you're really married to and the family you're really supposed to be leading often takes a little bit of a back seat. So I think those are the two big points I would say have been perhaps the more difficult for me to hack.
Balancing
but
the
you've
family.
got to have the right partner in life, and he or she, depending on your own gender, will enable it.
Yeah, to be able to support your vision and to be able to encourage you to actually go for your dream, and which your wife did.
Yes,
she did encourage you.
She did encourage me, but she also is the first to criticize me, and that's an important thing too. I go, oh, I've done this, that, and the other. No, you haven't. You didn't do this, that, and the other, and it's very important. And I think it's one of the reasons why people say, oh, you must get very proud. I've never allowed pride to take place. My wife would kick me hard if I did. You must never be complacent. You've actually always got to be thinking of the future. Don't bother about the past. Leave that to Denta.
Well, and then we'll touch on like the fact that, you know, when you came here and you wanted to set up the business, you had to beg and plead for people in Ghana to see your vision. And it was very difficult for them to see it. They were not interested. They were like, you know what, it's going to fail. There's no point. We've had businesses that come, that set up. Are you crazy? You want to send fresh fruit to where? All of this discouragement, negativity that were going on, how were you still able to kind of block them out and get it done?
Because of the common boy or girl. Because actually, the real heroes, the heart of this country, lies in the young, in the ordinary. I have a house just a kilometre and a half away from here, and I walk to. I used to cycle, but the road got too dangerous to cycle, so I walk to and fro.
Wow.
And as I walk, you know, they all say good morning, good to have a chat with you, and all the rest of it. And you're talking in one moment to a woman who's carrying a huge burden on her head, trying to flog the pies inside the box or whatever it is, and she's ringing a bell at the same time. Or you're talking to a young child, as I was yesterday, who said, I want to be a musician. How do I become a musician? I say, how old are you? She says, I'm 11. And I said, well, I'll think about that, but what sort of music do you want to do? Yeah, and we talked to her. So it's those people actually who are giving you the encouragement. You're quite right. There's this lovely saying, you know, that a PhD in Ghana is initials for pull him or her down. And very often you do find, you know, that little bit of, they call it in Germany Schadenfreude. It's this belief that you can, you know, there's hope that you can see failure in your competitor or in your good people around you. There's not a huge thing in Ghana, but there's no doubt that the skill is to get people to work together. And very often there's an individualism, you know, I'll make the money, I'll keep it to myself and all the rest of it. So the higher up you get up that ladder, the more you see evidence of that particular mindset. But yeah, there were banks and there were others who said, it's not going to work. What on earth are you talking about? And an awful lot of people back in back in Europe who were saying exactly the same thing. But you have a sort of feeling that it is going to work. And anyway, what have you got to lose? So you bash on. But yes, I drew all my encouragement from those upturned faces who believed in you. And why would they believe in you? Because you've done nothing, but who think you can make it work. There's 35 pioneers that we started with, and the many others who followed on beyond it. If you walk around with me now, you'd see what I meant. There's this sort of belief, and you feel, of course, there's a huge responsibility.
Of course.
You actually got to make it work.
Of course. And I'm sure there was one moment where you wanted to give up here. I mean, there was a moment where the electricity was bad, and you know, you felt like, you know, I'm actually supporting the community here, and if this situation does not stop, I might have to close my doors. But you did it again. You didn't give up. It made you actually, because of the people that were relying on you, you kept on going. Interesting.
I don't think I ever said to myself, stuff this for a game of soldiers, I'm off. I often said it. I said it because I wanted to, you know, intimidate the impossible Goliath in front of the little David, who's saying, you know, you can't have any pineapples, or you can't fly in our aircraft, or you can't do. And I want to say, you know, if you guys don't do this, I'll
pack up and go.
Pack up and go.
But deep down, it was not like that.
Never, ever.
I remember one thing that you said, Anthony, that if you were to cut you in half right now, there'll be a Ghana flag. There'll be a Ghana flag in you. There'll be the red, gold and green and the black star.
You may prove me wrong. You may prove me wrong, but I think I haven't met another English person who holds a Ghanaian citizenship.
No, I haven't.
There may be one, but I am. I'm a Ghanaian citizen, and
wow.
It's we talked about our MBEs, and we're very proud of it.
Yeah.
I'm proud of my Ghanaian citizenship. It's the most lovely thing to have, and I can vote. I can decide whether I go this way or that way. And importantly, actually, also I can own land.
Yes,
which is quite important here, because if you're a foreigner, you're really limited to 50 years and a lease.
Yeah.
But the best thing of all is going into the airport, and there's a huge queue off the KLM or the British Airways. They all go, whoa, waiting to have their passport stamped. And I saunter in with the Ghanaians who are moving very, very fast. And the thing, and an immigration official was no, you're
on the other side.
I said no. And I pulled
the green
I held out my green passport.
I love it.
Okay. They're all a bit surprised, but and then of course they try me out in Ghanaian, with either in Twi or one of the other languages, and if I'm lucky, they'll say Entice, and I say but otherwise they start going into a long thing. I put the white flag up.
But you mentioned about you're able to vote here or there, and I want to know from you what you think government can do to support SMEs, entrepreneurs in this country.
Well, another good question, really, and this is one of the structure of our constitution here and of our democracy, which is hailed as tip-top stuff all around the world, has two difficulties about it. One is I always regret that there's 4 years rather than 5 years, because the first year you might be arguing about who won and has to go to court, something of that sort. The second year one's selecting one's government and appointing ministers and things. The third year we're trying to make something happen so you impress everybody. Oops, and the fourth year you've got to stop now, we're going to start getting electioneering again. So I think 5 years. And I think the other thing is, and this is where I'm fearful of the fact that I'm on camera and talking to you and all the other things. I'm probably going to end up somewhere in a ditch or in a prison or something. But the other thing is, democracy is a wonderful thing, and we've got to, we must do all we can to preserve it. But it does have one huge disadvantage, and that is that, you change your governments all the time. You have almost certainly a will to please the people rather than to do what one might. I'm going to say the right thing, and you're choosing that word rightly. I think correctly. It is the right thing to make the economy work. Because actually, what is a successful country doing? A successful country has a successful economy. The successful company comes from successful business. And it's a well-known fact that successful businesses come from all the little SMEs that you quite rightly referred to. Actually, they are the heartbeat. They are really what's going to make it work. So how do you have a leader of a party or a government or whatever standing up and saying, okay, I'm going to commit myself to the next 20 years, even though I've only got 4 years, I'm going to commit to 20 years of making sure this country really actually engages with its opportunities, looks at its strengths, analyzes those strengths, looks at the market, wonders to oneself which one can be matched, and then grabs the market and then produces what has to be done to do it. I was very interested. Angela Merkel was here. I understand she may have been suggesting that car assembly. I've been saying for years and years, this is actually something that is exactly what Ghanaians are very, very good in the workplace. You just have to look around you here. There's not a scrap of paper. There's no rules that you can't put a scrap of paper. They're proud of this place and they want to make it work. And if you harness that will, again, back to the grassroots again, I think people often forget it. You can get things like assembly plants going, maybe we're putting computers together. We could be producing anything you like in the world, because everything in the world is here. And you know, you've just actually got to say, well, where are the markets, and make it work. That's what Blue Skies does. We're moving into new products now. We're not just cutting up fruit. You know, we've got this lovely ice cream which is melting like mad. You won't be able to eat it. We've got these juices.
We don't have all the products you do here. So we've got the coconuts, the sliced coconuts that you send away as well. We've got
there are
mangoes.
300 different products. 300 different products, mostly in the fresh cut area, with different labels on that sort of thing, all going out to different countries. But there are really 3 groups. So there's the fresh cut stuff, there's sort of mango, pineapple, passion fruit and so on. There's the juice range, and there's the ice cream range. There was a lovely thing the other day, Sainsbury's, well-known, huge retailer, purchased...
Which gave you your first...
absolutely.
Your first gig. They bought the 14 boxes and
I tell you. I owe them everything for that. But they've just put in out an announcement that they're going to merge with Asda, which is a huge organisation, and of course that'll make them the biggest retailer in the world. And it was very amusing, because the chief executive was going around from studio to studio, you know, saying, "It's going to be okay. It's wonderful," and around all the cameras. And in fact, the difficulty was that. He had the same message for everyone, and he got a bit bored, and in between he was resting in a lobby, and he didn't realize the cameras were still running, and he started saying, "I'm in the money, I'm in the money, I can't believe it." And of course this went viral all over the world. You know, here was the chief executive of Sainsbury's. He's in the money. My goodness. So you know,
we're in the money, we're in the...
Unguarded moment, and suddenly, you know, it all came out.
It's true. There was this minister that was on a TV programme and finished the interview, thought that everything was off, and then started talking, and everything that he had said was not what he was saying afterwards. So camera and mics can be very... what's the word? What word should I use?
Compromising.
Yes, compromising at some point. But you know, the conversation's really good, Anthony, and we're actually supposed to finish up the show, but we haven't even gone through the process. The conversation is so good that actually we're going to have to do a part 2. So we're going to end this conversation right here. We'll be back after the commercial break. Gooba Card welcomes you to the land of gold, Ghana. The Gooba Card is a unique loyalty card which gives you the opportunity to enjoy discounts of up to 40% on goods and services. You enjoy discounts of the best of hotels, amazing restaurants, beauty lounges, spas, health centres, fashion houses and shopping centres in Ghana. The Gooba Card can also be used as a prepaid Visa card with Access Bank, our partners, offering you conveniences on all payment platforms. Applications is safe, secure and valuable. Call us or WhatsApp us on 0245 156 705. Visit www.goobadiaspora.com. Gooba Card, the best discount card in Ghana.
Imperial Homes Ghana and Great Britain has carved a niche for itself within the real estate industry as the premier provider of luxury homes in Ghana and England, with a mission to provide safe, good value, modern housing and personalized estate management services to its clients and customers. All our homes meet the Lifetime Home Standard, as well as the highest standards of engineering excellence, safety, environmental sustainability, and cost efficiency. Imperial Homes, a signature of luxury.
With over 1.2 billion people, Africa is a large continent with a rapid economic growth, full of investment and business opportunities. It hosts numerous opportunities for entrepreneurs, businesses, and individuals. As Africa marches towards a better economic future, how do you become part of it? Who can you safely speak to? Where do you start? Think no further. Ordana connects. We have identified the challenges people face in getting the right people and discovering the right opportunities in Africa. Ordana Connects will be the platform where people and businesses seeking opportunities in Africa meet and connect like never before. Ordana Connect. Join our waitlist. for early access this summer at www.odanaconnect.com. I'm so excited because I'm still sitting here next to Anthony Parr, MBE, and we are talking about entrepreneurship, the struggles, the benefits, the highs, the lows, and we are here at Blue Skies, and I want to find out, because we haven't spoken about the process of how you get the products so fresh to the UK, to Europe, to other countries, and also how much of the farmers are actually helping you here? Are you getting all the pineapples right here in Ghana? Are you having to import some, etc.? So, Anthony, welcome back to the show.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
So let's go through the process.
Sure.
What happens when a farmer brings in pineapples?
Well, he will be greeted. He's likely to be somebody who we've been using for years.
Yep.
We'll have a sort of a friendly relationship, but one which is importantly recognizing the commercial arrangement between us.
Yeah.
So it's important to us that specification is met,
Okay.
and that we've got the right number of units there, of pineapples or mangoes or whatever is coming in. And that there's the day at which he's delivering it or she's delivering it is actually the day which they're meant to come on.
Okay.
So that's really the first thing. Of course, the fascinating thing is that all this product goes through almost as much, if not more, activity on the farm before it arrives here than it does, of course, on its way to the marketplace. So the real work is done in creating the quality actually at the farm.
At the farm.
So we have an army of agronomists,
Okay.
and people who will go out and check the harvest, make sure the sugars are right, make sure the colour's right, and all that sort of thing before it's harvested.
Before it's okay.
And that enables us to basically have a flying chance of getting it right in the pack.
In the first
so when it
place,
arrives at the factory, we do some cursory checks to make sure the quality is there. It then goes into the facility. We apply as little energy and effort to the whole process as possible.
Okay.
What it's all about to get this thing is speed and temperature. So if you can, you want to get your product through the factory within about 2 hours.
Okay.
Dropping it from about 30 degrees where it arrives to 0.2 degrees when it leaves. And it's in a box and away in a container and then taken off to the airport. People always say, well, of course, you're flying goods around the world, you're racking up terrible carbon emissions records and things of that sort. Well, actually, no, we're not, because first of all, we only send in these packs what actually is needed, what the consumer's going to eat, and that can be 30% of the fruit. And secondly, we only use passenger aircraft. In other words, you are flying, and underneath your bottom is this great hold, which might as well be filled with products that's going to be sent, to Sainsbury's or Waitrose or whatever. So it's speed and temperature that plays such a key part in the whole process of trying to get it right. But again, it's coming back to the people.
Yes.
You try and go into our factory with dirty hands or without having a shower or not following the rules and regulations, and somebody will come up to you and say, tap you on the shoulder and say, no, you have to do that and do this and do that. There is a absolutely collective responsibility. It's not a sort of managerial thing. Everybody is bought into getting the product absolutely right, which means handling it with clean hands, making sure that if you're not feeling well, you don't come to work that day, you'll still be paid, and making sure also that you've got a really clear understanding of how it works. The label has to be that way up, and the product has to look like this, and we're all taking responsibility for the quality. So, and then it's down to the speed and temperature, which make it all.
So why would you mentioned about you'd have to bath. Why would somebody have to bath before getting their hands on the product?
Well, actually, no longer do we require it, because things have moved on in the last 21 years. But when we started here, there weren't any buildings around. There wasn't any concrete at all in the local village. Very, very simple, actually charming. I miss it because you know those were very well built houses, very cool to sleep in. But you know they didn't have flush toilets. They didn't have air conditioning. They didn't have showers and things of this sort. And there are many houses today which don't. It's very, but many do. But we provided all those showers really so that people could do it. But they do use them. It's interesting that normally instead of using it at the beginning of the day, they're often used at the end of the day when they're going to go out with boyfriend or girlfriend or whatever it is, and they want to be smelling absolutely wonderful. But it's part of a process which gets you into you know, total cleanliness. When you actually go into the area, I think you clean your hands 3 times before you actually get in. Then you apply a layer of alcohol, which you know is total 100% sanitizer. So you go in there absolutely pristine. And if anybody visiting said, "Wow, this looks like an operating theatre," it has to operate like an operating theatre.
But this is food that people are going to eat, so it can't be contaminated with anything.
No, exactly.
And then also you are sending out, you do coconut, as I mentioned before, about 500 tons.
Yes.
About 500 tons?
The figures are roughly, now, the interesting headlines are about 750 tons a week come in.
Okay.
And if you take about 30% of that
off,
you fly that out. But the rest is not lost. No. Of course, there's always going to be some material which is taken off the pineapple or the mango or the papaya or the passion or the coconut, which you mentioned. And here it is. This is this one. This is pineapple and ginger. We also do ginger as well. And so there's pineapple and there's orange and there's various other things. So that's one home. Then the other home is the Blue Skies ice cream. You know, this is all made from fresh fruit.
Wow.
Okay, it's frozen, admittedly, not quite so frozen at the moment, I can see the way, as here in the hot sun. But it is a frozen product. And then if that isn't enough, we then take the waste material to our compost site. And we mix it with cardboard that's left over, we mix it up with various other things. And we also harvest any other waste, like chicken manure and things of this sort from around and about. There's a lot of woodwork done here. We love to have those wood shavings, and they all go there. And as a result, you know,
so you're not wasting anything.
No, 100% recycled.
Wow.
Absolutely. It either goes to the product and into the stomachs of lucky Europeans, or it gets drunk by lucky Ghanaians, or picked up around the world as ice cream, or it actually goes back into the soil to do what it should do, far better than fertilizer, as compost.
Wow, that is fantastic. So I mentioned about the coconut. How much of the fruit, the freshly cut fruit, are you sending abroad each week?
Well, of the coconut, I think we are now doing about 30 tons of raw material in, 10 tons of finished product going out. But the interesting thing about that is coconut isn't just that flesh around the outside, it's also the milk, water. And that goes into these products. So again, we're actually capturing a lot more of it. And if that isn't enough, the shells will go to the local people who use them for burning, to cook with. There is even one project of grinding it down and using it for some other material that I'm not altogether clear about. But it's a very it's very, very interesting exercise working with fruit. Years ago, when I was starting out after I'd left business school, I was in the sausage industry. And you learn very quickly that actually sausage is all about taking waste. You know, it's what's left over of the pig. It's what's left over of the fat. It's
all
what's left
together.
over of corn and wheat and bread and so on. All mashed together into something that's as lovely as, in my belief, I love sausages, as a sausage. And the great cry is you've got to make use of your residuals. In other words, you have your product of cut fruit, and we ought to have showed you a pack here, but cut fruit. But what's the rest of the things that go around you are actually demonstrating how you use those residuals.
Yes, definitely. And so what are some of the companies that you are exporting to?
Right, we've got 15 retailers that we supply, and they're all the big names in Holland and Belgium, in the UK, France, Italy, Switzerland, Denmark. I probably missed a country out, but those sort of things. And we've got people knocking on the doors now of retailers in the United States of America. We are recently been over to Hong Kong, trying to get into China.
Fantastic.
And other Southeast Asian states. And of course we are doing the best we can where we are. I mean, we are in ECOWAS here. We dearly love to see a freer flow of goods through the borders of ECOWAS. But great opportunity here to supply some of these things, to our neighbours. But also in South Africa, we have two lovely factories there which are reaching out to Woolworths. It's hugely successful retailer in South Africa. And in Brazil, Carrefour, who are also in Brazil, we supply them with a juice product again from local materials. And ditto in Egypt, again to the local retailers. So the 15 I mentioned are really the European ones. But there's lots of regional retailers and food service operators also who are clustered around the sites where we are located.
Okay, excellent. So if I'm a farmer and I'm doing pineapples, how do I get to deliver some of my fruit to Blue Skies?
Well, first of all, I'll do anything to get you to come. Because agriculture is having a tough time in Ghana. People are seduced by the big lights down at Accra, and the young are migrating down there. So we're running a school farms competition at the moment, 60 different schools, to try and encourage the young to get more and more involved, and it's very successful. I don't know whether I know you know Alistair Jamati, who he's the power and the leading light behind the school farms business, and also behind our foundation. He does a great deal of work there. So getting the message across, trying to get agriculture underway, is part of the fun. So first of all, I would bite your hand off, because there are not enough farmers. But we would.
So you're struggling. So you're actually getting from other countries because you don't have enough pineapples and mangoes.
Yes, that's the sad truth.
Wow.
But we would. Mango doesn't grow all year round in Ghana.
But you supply it all year round.
Yes, we do. Yeah, and so we do have to bring it in. But it is the material isn't. Mentioning mango is not available. The interesting one is papaya, which does grow all year round, and we could get from Ghana all year. But the papaya farmers have mostly got out of the business, and so we're doing it ourselves. But we have to go to neighbouring countries and to ditto with passion fruit. But we are developing our own. I mean, we're using vertical integration. That's to try and get things going. We're reluctant farmers, just as I'm a reluctant entrepreneur. And the fact is that we don't want to be a farmer, but we're going to have to be one until we can get somebody else to take it over. So yes, we would encourage you to come along. We would certainly talk to you about the standards we're looking for, because they're very high standards. And Ghana's hugely respected in Europe. I don't think Ghanaian people realise that. Hugely respected for really tip-top quality fruits. But as I say, the sad thing is it's not totally recognised. If it were, perhaps more people would stay in farming.
And because I think a lot of the young people don't find farming sexy. They see it as a granddad, what my granddad used to do. What should entice young people to get into farming? Well,
this is where you do need to talk to Alistair. He's done a remarkable job going around the schools, getting them enthused about farming. When they say, well, we haven't got any land, and he points to a heap of rubble over there, or maybe a chicken coop over there, or whatever. So right, you just convert it. This is how you do it. And I have to say, I've been around many of these schools, and it's really exciting. And when you see the children and they're engaged in something that is commercial, it's lighting up a Ghanaian instinct. Ghanaians are great commercialists, great traders. It's lighting something up. I can make something from this. I can please somebody with this. I can do. And then you couple that with a pride that comes from producing quality. Then you realise that actually, it's not that difficult to get things going. I mean, we do 60 schools, but I think you'll have to check with Alistair, but I think we've got about 600 applicants. Yeah. I mean, it's a huge, huge number.
Wow.
So it's one of the ways we're getting people going, I think, is through that. The other way is actually just campaigning, using your show and others to get the message across that it's not. If you think it isn't sexy, let me take you to a farm. I'll show you very healthy sex.
Yeah.
It's a very sexy business.
Yeah.
It's sexy because it makes money.
Yeah.
It's sexy because actually every single type of profession you can think of, accountants, lawyers, agronomists, doctors, they're all involved in it.
Yeah.
They're all involved in it. Chemists making chemicals and things of this sort. So agriculture is not about actually, so, oh dear, it's raining today and my crop's not growing, I think I better go off to the city and give up. No. It's a very, very exciting, very complex, and yet very obvious way of making business in Ghana.
In Ghana. I remember when we gave him an award a few years ago, and everybody that read his story was really impressed and just felt like, we need to appreciate you, we need to honour you, we need to celebrate you, because you have brought something new and fresh for us in this country. And if others don't see it, we at Gooba see it, and we believe in you and we appreciate you for all the hard work, your sacrifices for this country, because you have really supported the community here. You've given people jobs, you've given people hope, and so I just want to say a big thank you for everything that you're doing in Ghana. Please don't stop. But my last question is, if you had to do blue skies all over again, if say you were talking to your 18th self, you're 18 years old, would you do blue skies again?
That's another one of those interesting questions that you are so good at producing. But you also said some very kind words there, and I have to thank you for that. Those sort of words, are the ones that you live for, because they just give you that little bit of encouragement. Oh, it's true that that you have to brush them off and say no. But truthfully, they go in deep. They encourage you. They and that is what young entrepreneurs need. And I suppose the answer to your question is, I would do it all again. I would do it younger. I wish I started, as you kindly remarked, on 50, I'm now 71.
Wow.
I've got no intention of stopping.
You don't look like 71.
Well, that's very sweet of you. Coming from the fair agenda, I'm really delighted about that one. But the point is, I really feel very strongly that you have no point in regretting anything in your life. I had a very colourful time in the army. I had a very colourful time before the army when I wandered around the world as a 16, 17-year-old. And I've had an absolutely amazing time. And it's given me a second youth. So I absolutely have no regrets. It's been such a journey and such huge fun. So that's the first thing to say. The second thing to say about would I do anything different or would I do it again? I think you just don't know. I would do it again. I would do something like it, but the journey would be entirely different because the circumstances, the obstacles, the friendships, the encouragement, all the things that, the opportunities that come hurtling at you are all going to be different. It's a very exciting world we live in, we couldn't have existed without the internet. And here is an old man saying he used the internet. Yes, I did.
You sent emails as well.
Absolutely. And I think it's amazing how you can harness technology and do something with it. And the next generation will do exactly the same thing. I've had more happy moments. I've had more.
Excellent.
Yes, there have been moments,
angry moments.
But I go for a run every morning, and one of my little routines. It's just when nobody's looking. I just clench my fist like, come on. I always do that when I'm thinking, and it's that's been the fun. That's been the fun. Absolutely clear vision. Keep going. And really enjoy it.
Excellent. It's so inspiring, honestly, from somebody that was in the army, went into the manufacturing industry, got fired, set up his own business at the age of 50, has been successful, has employed over 3,500. If this does not inspire you, if you are 16 years old watching this show, listen, let the journey flow. You can do it. Don't let any discouragement. He was discouraged. His friends were telling him not to come. People were thinking, what are you doing? Are you crazy? Going to a new territory? Are you crazy? But he kept on going. And his story that he's just told you right now should be an inspirational to you. Just before we wrap up, I caught up with Alistair, who's the head of corporate affairs and also heads the farming competition for schools. And I wanted to find out, is farming appealing to young entrepreneurs? And this is what he had to say.
Having realized the lack of interest among the youth in agriculture and the structure within our governance system, which seems to impede agriculture in the country, one of the programs we have started is to set up a competition among the senior high schools and the junior high schools, providing them with support to ensure that people get excited about agric. We started with 12 schools, currently running with 60 schools across 5 regions in the country, and I can say that it's been an excitement. A lot of schools have developed their own farming techniques. All we do is support them with inputs, technical know-how, and then we supervise them to ensure that they come out with whatever they want to do. So far, it's been very exciting and it's been very successful. We are looking forward to making it a nationwide program so that we can get a lot more young people excited about agriculture. We believe that the future of Ghana, and for that matter Africa, is hinged on agriculture, and we need a robust agricultural system, just like Blue Skies is exemplifying, to feed into industry for the industries to create the jobs, and we believe that Ghana would get better. Thank you.